This week's Toolbox talk is on fall protection. Fall protection is the #1 killer in the construction industry annually, year after year after year. And it's very, very complex in its own right because there's so much written about protecting oneself. You know, inspecting your harness every day before you put it on, making sure that the D-ring is between your shoulder blades and not at your lumbar spine, taking a look at the task and what engineering system you would consider to use to put a roof system on, setting your trusses and your plywoods on even a simple job like this with a low-lying roof. Now, their fall exposure, looking at the level that they're standing on, is probably less than 12 or 13 feet at most. Obviously, the rule throughout the country for fall protection is 6 feet. Anytime I'm above a 6-foot plane and I'm on a leading edge, I need to be tied off. And that's all been taken into consideration here. So what you've got are two different aspects of work. You've got some gentlemen over here that are sheeting a gable roof system, a low gable, and they're using lifelines with rope grabs with their harnesses, whereas the gentlemen that are setting trusses over here and maybe doing some sheeting are all using retractable devices, and obviously they're all looking for a 5,000-pound anchorage point. Here they're actually using the studs that they've established in place already, whereas on the sheeting they're using engineered systems that you put 16 screws into the plywood and it has a D-ring on it. Objective, not to bottom out. The trick with low-lying roofs like this, whether you're doing the trusses or you're doing the sheeting, is the fact that you may have too much slack out on your rope or too much slack out on your retractable, and if you were to fall off that leading edge and onto the slab on grade, you might have too much slack and it might cause this pendulum effect to where you would fall through the truss system and you would land on the slab on grade. So in particular instances like this with fall protection, engineering controls are constantly changing. The environment's constantly changing as you're moving your way down, and your anchor points need to stay in unison with you, keeping that slack out of your retractables and that slack out of your ropes so that you can ensure that you don't bottom out on that slab. So this week, take a look at your jobs, maybe some of the tasks that you're doing on your projects that might be relative to leading edge, and how am I going to protect myself? How can I engineer out that fall exposure if feasible at all? Let's have a safe day. Let's have a safe week. Thank you.